Hello, and welcome to the Living Scary podcast.
The podcast where we talk about real-to-real horror so you can live vicariously through us.
I'm having a doozy of a day. Logan and I like to watch and talk about horror movies.
And I'm just realizing that I might be a horrible person. McCall and I like to talk about true crime and murder.
All right, that is the first time that we've been able to do an intro
beautiful.
In one take. That went perfect. That was
chills.
Yes, they're multiplying.
Oh.
Like, no, I was shocked. I was like, oh my God, we both did our intros the first time.
I was feeling good. Now it's time to drink.
I know, right? Woo!
Woo!
How are you doing? Anything new happening? I mean, we just had the holidays. It was a lovely holiday.
And now it's just cold.
Yeah, Crimbo, New Year's. Oh God, yeah. I hate January, February, March are easily the worst months.
They're just the worst. And if you have your birthday in those months,
I'm so sorry, Brendan.
Godspeed. Yeah, my husband has his birthday in those months, and it's just like, I mean, it gives you something to celebrate, but like, you're cold and kind of sad and tired about it.
Yeah, the only thing that it's such a weird choice to put Valentine's Day during that time. Like, hey, we're cold and miserable. Here's some chocolate about it.
I like you, I guess.
It's like, I feel like that would be I feel like Valentine's Day should have been like in the spring. Of course, I guess February can be spring for certain places of the world. I don't know.
Where?
I don't know.
Nowhere. California's just always hot. Apparently right now it's underwater, but...
Which is a shock to no one.
I don't... No, it is, because usually they're very droughty. But, you know, the planet is dying, so it's, you know, freaking out. I don't keep up with current events because they bum me out, but yeah. I know about this one.
Isn't water, that'd be good? Because, yeah, I remember for a long time, California was like, we're going through a drought. And now it's like, okay, you have water now, babe. Bye.
Well, now they're like, too much. Back off. It's like, beggars can't be choosers, but...
It's like in the Fairly Odd Parents where Chester McBadbat wishes for rain in the desert and it turns it into quicksand.
Dear Lord.
I don't know why I remember that so specifically, but I do.
He just wanted to save the world. Also, I can't believe you remembered his last name.
Chester McBadbat.
Chester McBadbat. Oh my God. What was his other friend's name? The one with the really round head?
AJ.
AJ. Okay.
I don't remember last name.
No, I don't think he had a fun last name.
Was it like AJ Tucker?
Oh my God, it was. Did we watch Fairly Odd Parents like a gross amount? Or I feel like that wasn't even on my core shows.
I don't think it was. AJ Tucker. I think, oh my God, it was, no.
Oh my God.
No, I think we just learned his name is just AJ.
It's just AJ. He didn't get last name.
I was just like, oh, thank God. I'm not that crazy. Yeah, no, we never know what his last name is.
Okay.
He's just AJ.
Huh.
I also like his intelligence increased as the series went on.
Yes.
He went from being just kind of smart in class to being a literal genius, like building robots and shit.
They have to do it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, what's the topic of discussion for this podcast today? What's our connecting factor?
Our connecting factor?
That we
don't know because you never told me what you were doing, but I also don't want to know what you're doing because I don't like to know what you're doing until you tell me.
All right. Well, you told me this thing specifically.
Okay.
So I'm going off of it exclusively because I don't know anything.
I gave you a few things for this one.
Yes. So it's a surprise till the end yeah. But what are you talking about? For our audience that doesn't know anything.
I'm talking about Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Woo! I love Tuck!
This is a fun one because it's a horror movie, but it's like very comedy. Like it's very funny. It is one of those ones where I think you could watch it with somebody who's not like into horror movies and they wouldn't be like destroyed by the end of it.
Like Shaun of the Dead funny or like funnier than that?
Yeah, similar to that. I think, and as unserious as Shaun of the Dead is, but like even less serious than Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead is funny as hell, but it also got
scares
like
me.
It actually scared the shit out of me, and it's got like just sad serious times, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh, I didn't want that out of my experience. I'm sorry.
I refuse to watch it. I
I have
don't
been
want to.
traumatized.
I have no interest in watching it again. I think I did watch it as an adult. Like I watched it way too young. I watched it when it first came out. Like it was like
I was there. I was with
yeah.
you.
Yeah, and
So
it
I
was too
was
young.
way too young.
Yeah, I was too young. And then I watched it again I think as an adult. And yeah, there's some like Bumtown stuff in it.
Bummer
Like
town.
everything with his mom is so sad.
So sad. His best friend, sad. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
It was a bad ending. I was bummed out.
Yeah,
The
I didn't like
closest
it.
I will get to watching Shaun of the Dead again is by watching Hot Fuzz, which is just as good.
I do like Hot Fuzz.
Fucking love Hot Fuzz.
I will say the scene that keeps playing through my head from Hot Fuzz is the guy pushing the statue off of the church and it just impales the guy and like makes his head explode.
It hits so good though. It hits his shoulders perfect on.
Yep. That scene, and then also at the very end when the guy like falls on the thing and it like goes up through his jaw.
Oh yeah, I did not like that when I was little.
That like both of those stick out in my mind very
Ooh.
fiercely.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's very in that kind of realm where it's like there's a lot of comedy woven into this movie. But it's also very like nice and heartwarming a little bit in a little way. But the movie begins. News reporter, cameraman, they're investigating a crime scene.
Wait, you didn't do the it was directed by blah blah
I'm
blah.
sorry, I didn't do the usual bit. I'm sorry, you're right.
Excuse me. Who is it? This movie, I will never know.
Excuse the fuck out of me. So first of all, this movie is a cool hour and 29 minutes. So like it's also a very nice, if you're a longtime listener of the show, you know that McCall and I love a movie that's only about an hour and a half.
Yep.
Anything
as far
more,
as our attention spans will go.
The only movie, and we've covered it before, the only movie I can watch that goes longer is The Lord of the Rings. If you hit me with a movie that's like, this is only like 2 hours, I'm like, that extra half hour, that's too much time.
Not necessary. Oh, let's watch Titanic. I just gotta change discs halfway through. No, I don't want to watch it.
Oh my god, I had to watch it. When I watched it, it was the double VHS.
Yeah. Yes.
And it was so bad.
They had to split that shit up.
And then I watched it during a time, and it was weird.
Okay.
I'm being vague on purpose, so fill in the blanks.
Okay. You can explain it to me later.
No, I watched it when I was having relations with someone. And so, but we're trying to do stuff, but then I'm also like, the movie though. But
what's is he drawing her right now?
Netflix and chill never works for me because I want to watch the movie. My brain, I don't know what it is, but my brain's just like, I'm focusing on this thing. Like
I focus on the movement. I'm like an animal in the jungle. I'm like, what's over there?
Who are you? Put that down.
Put that down. I saw that.
It's funny. The more you mentioned Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead, it is funny. Like they're on IMDb, there is like a more like this, and both Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz are there. So
I have not seen or know anything about Tucker and Dale, and that's just what my mind went to was it's probably like Shaun of the Dead.
Similar. So the director is Eli Craig, and also kind of written by him, and also Morgan Jurgensen. This movie's from 2010, so over 12 years ago. Well, 13 now.
Oh my god!
But
I know, right? Don't do the math.
I can feel my like the fucking evil queen in Snow White, where her hair is like turning. Like that's me when people say something like that. It's like I
can hear my bones creak.
Pokemon Gold and Silver came out in 2001.
No,
but so this movie stars Tyler Labine. And I don't know, like usual, or like I've been trying to do lately, I try to find movies in their repertoire that you might know them from. He was in Rise of the Planet of the Apes. I don't know if you ever saw that.
Is that the new one?
That was one of the fairly new ones, yeah.
I watched like a good amount of those. They made like 40 or whatever, but I watched like 2 or 3.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they did make a lot of them. I can't remember if you watched this show, but he is in Voltron.
Oh my god, the animated one?
Yeah, he's in Voltron.
You know I watched that shit. Maybe not all of it.
He's Hunk.
Oh, he's Hunk. Okay, I like Hunk. All right,
I
I
love
got it.
Hunk. I love Hunk.
He is kind of your bread and butter, though.
He's my type. And he is in Always Sunny,
Oh,
but I don't, and I thought you would know, but I don't know if you know that his character's name is Sean Dumont, but I did not know who that was because
I
I've
don't
only
know.
seen a few episodes. I've only seen the episodes that you and Dad are like, you have to watch this one.
I've watched like up to season 5, so maybe he's in there. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but that's like him, and then Alan Tudyk.
I love him.
Tudyk.
He's in everything.
I was gonna say, I was like, the thing you know the most is probably Firefly. He's Wash.
Yes, he is.
And then he's literally in so many other things, especially his voice actor.
Oh
Like,
my
if you can
God.
think it, he's probably voice acted in it. Like, he's a legend. Get into it.
I fucking love him. Oh,
So and then Katrina Bowden, I believe is her name. She's pretty much known for this movie. And also another movie you recently saw, Piranha 3 Double D.
oh, fuck yeah. Who's she in that?
She's Shelby. I've never seen it, so I don't know who the character of Shelby is.
Oh man, she might be one of the super hot chicks. There's so many.
Oh, she was probably
chicks.
one of the super hot chicks. And then in 30 Rock, she was a character named Carrie, but I never watched 30 Rock, so I don't know.
I did watch 30 Rock, and that's not hell. Oh, I got it. I know who she is.
And then there's a guy named Jesse Moss. He's actually the producer of this movie, or one of the producers of the movie. He was in The Uninvited, which I'm like 90% sure I watched with Kaya back in high school.
I've never heard of that.
And then he was in Final Destination 3 in kind of like a bit part, I think. I think he died like at the beginning.
Boo.
But yeah. And then after that, I really didn't know too many other people in this cast. Which is never like a bad thing. Like, honestly, it's like you guys are probably cast because of your talent, not because of your star power. So there you go. Take that to the bank and
take that.
So anyway, I'll get back. So the movie, it begins with like a news reporter and a cameraman. They're like investigating this crime scene, and it's kind of like, it's very like the Blair Witch Project. They end up getting killed by this like disfigured kind of like man, hillbilly-ish type, like in the camera. And then a few days later,
so are we seeing their whole sequence through the shaky cam?
Yep, it's very like through shaky cam, like it's black and white because it's like nighttime, and that's how they do it.
We can use night vision.
And then then a couple days later, there's a group of friends, a group of teenagers. I'm not going to list all of them, but they all definitely are out there. The important ones are Allison, who is Katrina Bowden, and Chad. Of course, it's Chad.
Of course, his name's Chad.
And they all kind of are going out for like a cabin weekend, which I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry if my friend said, "Hey, Logan, would you like to go out to a remote place and stay in a cabin?" Even if I didn't watch horror movies where this happened all the time, I would still say no.
You've done this, you dumb bitch.
I hate the outdoors.
You have done this.
Exactly.
We went to a cabin.
Exactly. And looking back, I would say no.
We went to a cabin and we just watched all of the Saw movies.
And I
alone
pasted everyone
in this cabin.
at Mario Kart.
I don't remember that part. I just remember watching Saw and being like, we shouldn't be watching this right now. We're going to get really scared later.
I kicked everyone's ass at Mario Kart to the point where Jeffrey was like purposely like standing in front of the TV and like messing with my controller, and I still won.
You knew those maps like the back of your hand.
I did.
Yeah.
That's the sad part, is I did. But anyway, we do also kind of we have this kind of like stereotypical movie moment where like the kids are like partying in the car and they pass by this truck with like these two hillbilly-ish looking people who are Tucker, who is Alan Tudyk, and Dale, Tyler Levine. And they both like kind of like looking like kind of tough in the things, but it's like they're not really. But then it's like they drive away and they're like actually really nice. They're like, what do you think the kids are doing? Like they're very pleasant and just like nice people. And like they get to this gas station where like this movie is a comedy of error. It's a Shakespearean play level of comedy of error. Like where like they think that they're like, hey, that one hillbilly is like staring at you. Like he's like looking creepy. And he's like, she's really pretty. I really want to talk to her, but I can't work up the courage because I feel like she would judge me. Like, that's like kind of like the whole movie is like this poor guy named Tucker who is really, really in love with, Dale. Tyler Levine's character. He's very smitten with the character Allison, and he's constantly nervous to talk to her because he feels like she'll judge him because he's like a little more of a country boy.
What is their Tucker and Dale? What is their intelligence level?
They seem pretty smart, but it's like because
Oh, okay.
their purpose is they're going up to this lake as well because they purchased like a rundown cabin and they're gonna remodel it. Like they're definitely intelligent enough to be able to refurbish a cabin, but they're a little like I don't want to say simple. That's not the word because I feel like that has negative connotation to it. It's just like they're
They're
very
street
like
smart. They're not book smart.
yeah, like they just like they're I don't know. I think they just seem very nice and they both are just very friendly with each other. And but yeah, poor Dale has this inferiority complex that he just cannot get past when he wants to talk to this Allison girl. And unfortunately, it appeared to these kids who have heard like this legend about these like these hillbillies that kill people. They immediately like, oh, like these are these guys are gonna
We
kill her.
found
Like,
them at the
yeah,
mini
we've
mart.
in the fucking mini mart. Also, Dale has a hat on that I kind of want. It's just a trucker hat, but it says Gitter or Giver on it. Like, but it's GIV''R.
Giver.
Which, fun fact, that is like the Canadian equivalent of like get her done, like Gitter. So like in Canadian, I'm sure like it would be Giver.
Huh.
That's what I read anyway in the trivia. So,
All right,
but he wanted
Canadians.
he wanted that hat specifically.
I want a trucker hat that says boob police on it.
Boop. I want the hat. I want the hat that says it's in the font of Titleist, like the golf balls, but it says titties. But it's like, but because people are so familiar with Titleist, just at first glance you'd never get it, but it says titties. I want that hat so bad. Where did I saw it at like a Spencer's Gifts, and I kicked myself every day that I did not buy that hat. Like,
you get your hat that says titties, and I'll have my boob police hat on, and we'll
you got
around town.
You got your Bigfoot sweatshirt that you've been wanting.
Yeah, I did, and I'm so excited about it. It is perfect. It's
describe to the audience what it was.
I wanted a sweatshirt for Christmas that was very specific and does not exist, so Mom had to special make it, order it, whatever. Well, I just want a plain gray zip-up sweater, male extra large. This cannot be stressed enough. And I want, just in like the corner on the right side, to just be a little Bigfoot like silhouette. That's it. That's the shirt. And I have it now.
I love it. No, I love it.
It's
so cute.
And it's big. Anyway.
So like basically they get to this. So both Tucker and Dale and the kids get to like their respective cabins, and they're both on the same lake. And the poor Tucker and Dale, they were told it was a fixer-upper, but holy shit, this place is terrible. But they're both very optimistic that they can refurbish this place. But this house they get is full of newspaper clippings from this place, from this thing called the Memorial Day Massacre.
Mm.
Except for the fact that they completely ignore it. But like, it was an audience, we get to see it, but they just don't even look. They don't even
care.
And there's a lot of foreshadowing that happens in this scene where it's like, oh, there's a board with a lot of nails in it. Like, we should probably fix that first because otherwise that could really hurt you. Like, there's a lot of like that kind of shit going on with this one. And then the teens, then they tell their story about the scary stories with the Memorial Day Massacre. It's funny. I do have a synopsis in front of me, just so but the synopsis is a novel. Like, they really they went scene by fucking scene, and to the point where this guy, right? Like, this one character, Chuck, wants to say, do you want to see or hear a scary story? And it says, he begins to talk, or he begins taking his inhaler, parentheses, he has asthma.
Dear Lord.
And I'm just like, what else do you take an inhaler for? I don't know. Maybe
buzz.
Maybe you take it for other things. But
the thrill.
The sexual thrill. So they tell the story about the hillbillies that kill people. And they decide to then go skinny dipping, which is, of course, the next
that's obviously thing. What you would do after hearing that story. Yep, I don't know what.
And it's nighttime. And as they're like gonna go skinny dipping, like both Tucker and Dale are out on the lake. They're fishing because they just want to enjoy it. Because nighttime and early morning, those are the times to fish because that's when the fish are like most plentiful. So they are fishing, and they actually watch as Allison kind of ends up falling off of a rock, and like when she and also, just as a side note, her and Chad are kind of like a thing, and Allison's kind of like not into him, but he's very into her, and so that's kind of also a subplot that's happening, and it does end up being important. But
Their thing is in they are dating, or he wants to
no,
date her.
he wants to date her, if I remember correctly, like, but she's not into it.
Got it.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to double check. Yeah. So basically, Allison ends up falling off of this rock, and she like kind of goes unconscious. And so, Dale ends up diving into the water and saving her life, and he brings her up to the other side. But what do the kids see? They see two hillbillies that they had seen in the corner store taking the near naked body of Allison off into the woods. So they think that they're trying to like
Killer.
kill her, do stuff. So they immediately are like gonna go and try to like save her. And so the next morning, of course, Allison wakes up and she's like she like they've clothed her. She's like all wrapped up. She's been bandaged up. Dale is like making her pancakes. Like they're both being very nice to her, and again, just comedy of errors. They just think that they're like psycho killers just because of various things that they end up seeing. Like that end up that like it's like one of those things from like one angle it looks like one thing, from another angle it's another. But basically, Dale is like trying to overcome his anxiety to and like is trying to like talk to this girl, and it's kind of sad. But it's also nice because she also can kind of like she's starting to like kind of warm up a little bit. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to double check because I'm like I feel like this one something else happens first, because this is the next part is where a lot of the comedy, a lot of the physical comedy happens. So the college kids eventually make their way to the cabin. There's a moment where this guy named Mitchell um, loses rock paper scissors and has to go like investigate the hillbillies, and Tucker is trying to chainsaw through some wood, and unfortunately a beehive falls near Tucker, and then the bees start to swarm him, so he starts swinging around the chainsaw like it's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And like Mitchell's like, run, run. And as they're running, like Mitchell ends up running straight into a tree branch, impaling himself through the stomach, and he dies.
Damn, Mitchell.
Yeah. So it's a little unfortunate here. But Dale also reveals that he, like, to him, he's like, he says he has a weird brain, which means he's extremely dumb, but he can remember everything he hears. And it's like, that's like the opposite. Like that's
not dumb, sir.
But because what they're doing is when they're talking, they're also playing a game called Trivia, and he just knows all of these things because he's heard of them before. And of course, Allison's trying to get a psychology degree, which is wonderful. If Charlie's listening, I'm just kidding. No, it is, and but she feels like it's a dumb thing, and Dale, of course, is like telling her how important it is and how her dreams aren't dumb, and they're definitely having a good time. Of course, they do find the college kids find Mitchell's body, and they're like, "Ah, God, they're killing him. They're killing him." Yeah. So,
but Tucker and Dale and Allison have no idea that this happened, right?
Nope, no idea.
Okay. Cool.
But then, well, they know now because Tucker comes back and starts talking about like how this college kid is like killed himself. Like this kid just killed himself. And they decide to engrave a message on a log to let the kids know that they have Allison, and they decide to say, "We got your friend" on a log. That is not ominous at all.
That's bad. That's not good.
Basically, a comedy of erring ensue where the kids try to take Allison back. One of the kids accidentally gets fed into a wood chipper.
No.
Yep, it's kind of a bummer. But yeah, she ends up getting or sorry, he ends up getting killed in a wood chipper while Tucker's like trying to pull him out because he's like, "What the fuck is going on?" Because they just like, why are these kids killing people or killing each other, killing themselves? I'm
Okay.
sorry, I'm trying to read this like this. He could have been so simple, but they don't. Another kid ends up falling on like a spear, like a makeshift spear.
A lot of falling into things, falling onto things.
Yep, basically, it's a lot of it's a lot of accidental death that happens here. One of the a cop ends up coming and ends up getting like like a pole through the face like that. Like in the cabin, I was telling you, it's like there's like there's like a wood plank that had some nails on it, and it falls and like hits him and kills him. It's all just an accident, and it's rough. It's rough, buddy. I'm trying to double check here because I'm trying to say because it kind of like I've said it just keeps going. This review that I'm looking at, it eventually kind of just culminates. I'm just gonna try to skip to it. Basically, Chad. I'm just gonna get to it because I'm sick of reading all of this. It basically turns out that Chad has a deep hatred towards hillbillies because you remember that whole thing about the Memorial Day massacre? It
Yeah.
turns out that his mother, I believe, was a survivor of it. I'm trying to find it. Basically, it turns out that Chad's the killer. Chad's the
My
real
God!
killer. Chad's the
Wait,
real killer.
what?
I'm sorry. I'm done with it. I'm done dealing with this person's review. Oh my God. Like this is too much. Watch the movie. Watch
Oh
the
my
movie. I'm
God.
so sorry. This is the first time that I've ever gotten so tired with reading someone's shit. Like it's like you could have summed this up so much nicer. But anyway, so Chad
Chad's
turns out
the
to be
killer.
he's a killer. He actually is killing people. And they all end up living and going along and it's all fine. And
Whoa.
Allison and Dale end up together. I'm sorry. I'm so frustrated by this one. I think Tucker loses his arm or something because of something that happens.
Something.
I can't remember. This is going terribly.
Well. Huh. Awesome.
I'm sorry. This one just was this. I love this movie though, and that's why I feel bad. I'm like, but this review that I'm normally able to use the reviews to kind of remind me of things, but because my ADHD brain is like it's a wall of text. It just ends up looking like a blur to me. So
So Chad's the killer.
yeah, well, he's
I
a
assume.
killer. He didn't kill any of his friends though. If I
Oh,
can't,
those are all
but
accidents.
yeah, they were literally all accidents. I can't remember.
And then I assume they kill Chad or Chad dies
Chad.
somehow.
Well, remember at the very beginning there was like a deformed person. Well, it turns out that that's Chad.
Oh, what?
So at the beginning, the news person
Yeah.
was there and
Yeah.
like got killed by a guy with like a disfigured man smiling into the camera.
Yeah.
The movie, then our plot takes place 3 days earlier.
Oh,
So it turns out
okay.
that Chad is the disfigured person who killed the people. And basically that's kind of what it ends up being it ends up being that kind of thing.
Huh. So how do you get disfigured?
Things that happen.
Good question.
Oh, no, Tucker lost fingers. That's what it was. That's right. I'm sorry, I forgot this. So Tucker, so like it wasn't his arm. He like they cut off his fingers, like because they're dick, and they cut off his bowling fingers. That's what they call like not your bowling fingers. And they ended up sewing on one of the girls like that died. Her fingers. They grabbed her fingers, so he has like a girl's fingers sewed onto him. Of
Wait,
course,
that's
that
not
wouldn't.
how that
I would
works.
say that wouldn't be how that works in real life because like it's a visual gag, but in real life that would not happen.
You just have a dead girl's fingers flopping around on your hand.
It literally in this man's fucking novel, it doesn't say how Chad gets motherfucking disfigured. Oh my God. This is just embarrassing. I think he gets burned up.
I think he gets burned up.
Oh, it is. That's how all of the, oh, that's right. The cabin explodes, and that's what kills the remaining kids.
Bummer.
And except that Chad lives and is like severely burned and stuff.
Ah. He's like a Freddy Krueger kind of thing.
I'm sorry. I need to find a better review in the future, or like make my own goddamn review, because Jesus Christ, this just kind of fell apart. This one fell away from me. I apologize, audience. This one was not my best, and I blame who wrote this
Is
one?
his name on there?
I hope so, because I'm about to put him on blast. Ugh, no, it's not there.
Damn.
Well, because it's so weird. Because it's like, if every synopsis was like that, I'd be a little more like, okay, fine. But no, most of the time the synopsis is on IMDb are usually a little more like succinct.
This guy really wanted to talk about this movie.
Yeah, somebody really decided to put they put the entire B movie script on there. Like, it's wild. But anyway, it ends up being a happy ending.
It's good.
Tucker gets his fingers back. Dale gets the girl. Chad's a crazy hillbilly person now who's killing people.
How does Tucker get his fingers back?
They sew him back on.
I don't know how it works, but I feel like there's more to it.
You can if you keep them on ice, you can sew your fingers back on.
But like, how does it?
One of Charlie's coworkers at Costco cut off his fingers on the meat slicer.
No, I know, but I don't know what I assumed they did to your hand to like make, but you can't just like sew them on all floppy like, and then they have to click into place like you're like putting them in.
Well, yeah, there's a lot more that goes along with it than just stitching the skin back on it. Your bones reform. Yeah, like there's more to it than that, but it is possible. I just don't. I don't think that you're ever gonna have the same mobility. But
I'm not a doctor. I just feel like I wouldn't be able to do it.
This one was really bad. I'm really embarrassed. Embarrassed. This one was really bad. This was really bad.
This is really bad.
I started out, I don't even know if I can say I started out strong, but I started out
lukewarm.
And it just got worse. It was like, it's like those days that you have at work where it's like you start already tired and you know it's just going to go downhill. Like you're not going to hit that like second wind. You think you might, but then it doesn't. And this synopsis really didn't help me. And I should probably stop blaming the synopsis.
It's my bad.
But yeah, it's not its fault that it's wordy. I'm sure if I was just reading it, I would appreciate the detail.
Is it my turn to swoop in and save the day?
Yes, tell me your thing, please. Save me from the mediocrity that was my section.
You should watch the movie Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. Woo!
You should. It's on Amazon Prime for free. You should watch it. Yeah, it's on Amazon Prime. You can watch it. Not even on Shudder. It's on Amazon Prime.
Huh. Well, damn.
So yeah, if you want to watch it, definitely a recommend. It's only an hour and a half, and it's really cute. For a horror movie, it's really cute.
It's really cute. All right. Well, my theme is accidental deaths. And they happen so quickly that I have a bunch.
I feel like that is something that probably happens a lot.
Yeah. And they make you kind of paranoid when you read like a bunch of them.
There are times where I'm like, oh my God, is the thing I'm doing right now going to be the thing that kills me?
Yeah. I was reading this. First of all, I like looked up accidental deaths and Google was like, do you want the definition of what that is? And I was like, no. And it was like, do you want insurance information on what to do in this
I would
case?
like examples, please.
And then I was like, zany accidental death.
Zany. Please tell me you put the word zany in.
Yeah, I was like, wacky, crazy shit. And it was like, all right, weirdo.
Do you want to? You could just watch what was it? Was it Spike that had like that 1,000 Ways to Die or whatever?
1,000 Ways to Die. I was doing research and I was like, oh my God, that was a TV show. So I'm not fucked up because they made a TV show out of it. So I'm normal.
Of course, they dramatized those things so severely that I'm like, was this even real? Did it even really happen?
Those poor reenactors. Oh God.
There's one that for some reason really sticks in my head. Is the girl who gets crushed to death by money. And I'm like, why the fuck does she have Scrooge McDuck like bags of money in a fucking safe somewhere?
She wanted to swim in it like Scrooge. Also, the one that sticks in my head is like this guy was in the river and he peed and then a fish went up his urethra and killed
Yeah.
him.
I don't think it could kill you, but it hurts.
I think it's because he tried to pull it out.
Yeah, and then you bleed to death.
And then he bled to death in the river.
Yeah, no, that's good. You need it's a what's it called? I know the fish because it makes me nervous to pee in the river. Yeah.
You're not in the Amazon.
No, I'm not.
You're in the Mississippi River, like, oh, geez, guys.
You wouldn't catch me dead in a river. But it's funny, when I got Giardia, like, the doctor was like, do you camp a lot? Are you, like, in the river? Are you a river, like, river water drinking, okie smoky, poor-ass bitch who doesn't have insurance but who's coming to my hospital? And I'm like, no, sir, I promise. I don't go outside at all. I don't know how I got this.
I don't know how I got any germ out of my bubble.
Maybe you should delete Grindr. And you know what? That cured it.
I have to tell you a story after this.
Please tell me. No, tell me now.
No, I can't tell it now. But it's about your Giardia.
It's about my Giardia? How it affected you?
How it affected me as a third party.
Yeah, not how it affected me shitting 4 times in my pants sober.
In my pants.
And then having my manager at fucking Wells Fargo feel the back of my pants like a mother feeling her child's diaper. Like I was like, what are you doing? I shit my pants. Let me go home.
Oh my God. Oh no, you told her you shit your pants?
Yes,
and she double checked?
Yes, she was like checking me. Well, because I was a lead teller. She didn't want to lose her lead teller. But I'm like, I'm sorry, your lead teller.
I'm suing you for all you're worth, Wells Fargo.
She felt my
harassment.
Harassment.
Did she wash her hands afterward, or like?
She better have.
What is this crazy bitch?
Because that's some Giardia fingers right there.
Yeah, she got Giardia after that. Yeah. But anyway, I was doing my research, and there's just a Wikipedia of like they had shit from
of like wild, like from like the 1800s or whatever.
It's like 900 BC. Claudius II was walking on the cobblestone streets and tripped and bit his tongue and shit, and he died. And I'm like, what?
You bit his tongue and died?
Someone did bite their tongue and die, yeah.
Bleeding out?
He bit his tongue, and the cut got infected, and he got gangrene, and he died. There's a lot.
That's the problem with not drinking enough alcohol, is because if you drink enough alcohol, your body is cleansed of all germs.
Clean, free.
That's how it works. My body, they use rubbing alcohol to clean wounds? My whole body, rubbing alcohol, okay?
Just rum. Secreting it.
When I cut my thumb so severely at Christmas, it was just a straight stream of just Bacardi Gold. Like,
you know what's really funny?
Opened me up like a tap.
Logan came home for Christmas and promptly cut his thumb. And then
God, I'm trying to help my mother make
I'm trying to help.
I'm making with her new device. Fun. With her new device.
So Logan cuts his finger. A week later, Mom cuts her finger on the same device.
And
like
the same finger, too. I think the same finger. It was her thumb, too.
And then a week later, I also cut my finger on a different device, but I still did it. And I was like, wow, what a family. We're all dumb in the kitchen.
Well, because, Mom's new thing, she got one of those choppers that, like, you press down on it and chops it. They're the really in vogue thing. They're the new slap chop. Even though I think the slap chop's more effective, but whatever.
I cut my vegetables by hand like a normal person.
No, I use a slap chop. Today I made the slap chop. Here's what I mix. I mix lettuce, some nice little fresh, like, little tomatoes, and a spicy pickle.
What is this, the cooking show?
And I slap chopped it all together, and it made like a nice, like, kind of spicy little salsa weirdness. It turned out really nice.
Did you? It turned out so nice, and you like serve it on this nice little.
Well, I did like a tortilla, and then I had some cheese and some turkey, and then this like salsa thing, and then a little bit of light ranch and some sriracha. and salt and pepper to taste. So let's hear some of these crazy deaths.
I have been trying to tell a story for like 10 minutes.
I'm sorry.
So I get to Wikipedia, and I only wrote down like 5 of them because you can only write down so many. But I kept reading them because I was so interested, and I just kept going like, oh my gosh. And I'm sitting next to Brendan on the couch, and he's just looking at me. And after like the 5th one, he's like, can you just stop?
Not like, hey, what are you listening to? Or what are you reading? Or what? It's,
No.
can you shut the fuck up?
Can you stop? And I was like, do you want to hear about this? And I started telling them to him, and he got this like really icky face, and he was like, I don't want to hear anymore. So you get to hear about it because
I'm okay with it.
Brendan thinks I'm a bad person.
Because I'm laughing at people's deaths.
I did laugh at a couple. And then I told them to him, like, isn't this funny? And he was like, someone died!
People are dying, Kim.
And I was like, yeah, but they died funny. Anyway, I'm a bad person. Okay, so Kelsey Ake Salvacion. Yes, that's right. She worked at the Rejuvenese Cryotherapy Center in Nevada. So first of all, for those of you who don't know, cryotherapy is when a person is put into a chamber, and then the chamber goes down to sub-zero temperatures for like a short amount of time, and it relieves pain, I guess. It's kind of like when athletes use ice baths for like aches after a game. It's also said to be good for weight loss, improving overall healing, increasing blood circulation, and it's called an anti-aging remedy, which I don't know if any of that's true, but people say that. So she works at this kind of center.
Save yourself a couple $100,000, come to Minnesota, take off all your clothes, and lie down in the fucking snow.
Yeah, if this is true, then everyone in Minnesota is anti-aged for days. We look great.
I would say we're all elves living in the United, like, just
so cold.
But the 3 months of summer, though, that's what gets us.
That's when we age rapidly.
Yep.
Like milk.
But then we stop the second the weather gets cold.
So her boyfriend, first of all, it sounds like she's from Hawaii. And her boyfriend's like, I'm moving back. I got a new job. And she's like, I'm going to stay here for like a year, wrap up my shit in Las Vegas, and then I'll meet you in Hawaii. And she's working at the cryotherapy center, and she's locking up for the night. And she texts her boyfriend, I'm going to do a treatment myself. And
by herself,
for herself, alone.
That's like while you're like, that's like giving yourself a tan while you're in a tanning bed and then falling asleep.
This is exactly, yes. It sounds something that would happen. Keep in mind, these are accidental deaths. So everyone I'm talking about dies. But like, it sounds like something that would happen in Final Destination where like,
one girl does die in Final Destination in a sunbathing bed.
Then that exact thing, but this happened in real life and she froze to death. So she puts herself in the chamber, and I don't know how the chambers work. I assume that they're set for like, whatever, 15 minutes? How long can you be cold forever? I don't know.
I picture the things from Austin Powers where he's like frozen in like this like thing and covering his jug.
So
this woman died.
She died. Like, I don't actually know. It should have, I would assume, have timed out because they really don't want people to like freeze to death.
Yeah, like, why wouldn't they have, like, an automatic release, like, after a certain amount of time? Like,
yeah, so whatever safeguards were in place, I mean, I assume that's why you do this in a center where there's an employee who would check in on you, I guess, if it doesn't work. But she did it alone, which she was not supposed to do. And then it, like, never let her out, basically. So her coworker comes in the next day. Her car is still there. They come in and they're like, uh-oh. And she is frozen solid. Her cause of death is listed as asphyxia due to lack of oxygen because she's in a chamber. So she didn't actually like freeze to death. She suffocated first, but it's all bad up in this
Yeah.
piece. So that's the first one. Edward Archibald. So this one is pretty famous. There was a contest held by Ben Siegel Reptiles, the Ben Siegel Reptile Store in Florida. Of course, it's Florida.
Of course it's Florida.
In 2012. And they're holding a contest and they're like, do our contest and you win a python. Whoever can eat the most cockroaches wins. Oh, I picture like radio hosts like boing noises in the background.
Two incongruous things. Cockroaches and a python. Like,
I think they're an animal store. And I assume they sell bugs and whatnot to feed your reptiles. And maybe they just had like way too many. Like Debbie put in way too big of an order one month and they're like, we'll have a contest. I don't know. We got to get rid of these roaches.
I thought you were talking about like Little Debbie snacks.
No.
That's the secret ingredient in the ho-hos.
Is those little legs.
You know how many cockroaches and spiders you eat in a year?
I hate that fact. Like, just let me eat my peanut butter in peace, okay?
Or Spiders Georg.
Or Spiders Georg is an outlier.
Georg. Yep.
So Edward Archibald enters the contest to win the python. He does win, but he begins to feel sick. He has nausea and dizziness after the contest, and he collapses in front of the venue. He's rushed to the hospital, but he is pronounced dead. His cause of death is listed as asphyxia due to choking and aspiration of gastric contents. So basically, he chomped down as many cockroaches as he possibly could. I couldn't find a lot of information, but if you're shoving cockroaches down your throat, my first thought is that cockroaches don't die easy.
Yeah, especially if they're alive.
And if they're alive, they may have like tried to get out, and that made him asphyxiate. So that's what I think happened, is basically cockroaches were trying to crawl out of his body and he died. Unfortunately, the people who ran the contest were like, oh, that's really sad. Oh, man. Anyway, he signed a waiver, so like,
oh my God.
That's that on that. Like, I don't know. When I think about like an eating contest, I do think, yes, you have to sign a waiver, but I like to think that the people who are holding any kind of eating contest
still like have some kind of care for human life.
Have to like, I picture just a bunch of dipshits in a room with a bunch of cockroaches, like, let's just have people eat them. Like, you didn't think like, what could possibly happen to a human being if they eat a live fucking roach and they eat like 40 of them? I don't know, they didn't get in any trouble, so I guess you can do that, but it seems horrible to me. Anyway, that guy died.
That guy's done.
So that's really sad.
It is sad.
It's so sad.
Especially the disregard.
Just
from
like
the corporate or whatever it was.
I don't know. It was like a reptile shop, so it's not like his family's going to be rolling in money if they won a lawsuit. But still, it's just kind of a bummer that
maybe it would stop this place from doing it again.
I mean, like, that reptile stop is not going to do any more contests. This next time, the roaches will be dead when you eat them. The next one is Maria de Jesus Arroyo. So she was taken to the hospital in 2010 for a heart attack. The doctors can't revive her and they pronounce her dead. The next morning, the lab technician comes in and they, in the morgue, and you know how they have those like little freezers that they keep you in? And like cinematically, I picture the person coming inside, putting their shit down and like turning around, and one of the freezer doors is like ajar.
Oh my God.
And they're like, what is that? So they open up, they wheel out the body from the drawer, and her body is not laying on its back like it's supposed to.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
She is face down in the freezer. Her nose is broken and her face is all cut up. She did not die of a heart attack. She was still alive, and they zipped her up in that little bag, and they put her in the freezer, and then she's trying to like get
Oh my
out,
god. Oh my god.
and she can't, and then she dies in the freezer overnight. So that's one of the ones that made me upset.
But they couldn't tell that she was dead?
I don't know.
Because this is a hospital, right?
It's a hospital with
I was like,
doctors, and it's
with doctors
2010.
exactly, who are professional. Like, I don't know.
This isn't Romeo and Juliet times.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what the fuck?
They're not putting their ear to her foot and being like, I can't feel a pulse. I don't know.
Thank you. Thank you, Scuttle. Thank you.
So I don't know what was going on in that hospital on that day, but she died really bad.
They used one of those hammers to check reflexes, but they like hit like her belly
too low, and they were like, she didn't respond. I guess she's
dead.
So the next one is Jeremy Breno. Jeremy Breno is a 16-year-old. It is 1994, and he is playing a round of golf at the Kingsborough Golf Club. He misses a hole-in-one, which I don't know a lot about golf, but I assume that you're pretty close to getting a hole-in-two, which is still pretty good.
Yeah, or like,
right?
Like, how badly did he miss it?
I don't understand the specifics of like how this happened, but he misses a hole-in-one, I guess.
Yep.
And he gets really angry, like some people do. And he
like our grandfather did.
Yeah. And he hits the bench that he's standing by with his club.
Uh-huh.
And the club snaps, and the shaft of the club pierces him in the heart.
Whoa.
Yeah. And sorry, I didn't mean to laugh. The article I read said the boy had emergency attention of the doctors at the club and was rushed to the hospital, but did not survive.
How old was he?
He was 16.
Damn. Oh,
yeah.
Shit. That's sad.
But like, I read the doctors at the club, and I was like, wow, it's really lucky that there were doctors at this club. And then I was like, oh, it's a country club.
They're
I bet it was
golf.
all fucking doctors.
Yeah, they're all playing golf. Yeah.
Yeah. So that one's really sad. Mike Edwards.
Yeah, but Grandpa Rich, he was famous for throwing his clubs when he missed shit.
Yeah. I mean, golf is
high octane sport.
Yeah, you don't even fucking dare come at me. I'm sorry, I don't like golf. It's so boring.
It's so stupid. No, I think that mini golf should be golf.
I think mini golf should be golf.
And then golf should be big golf.
I think golf should be stopped, abolished, and we should plant
use the land
trees on that land.
Use the land for more reasonable things.
And we don't water it crazy and use a bunch of resources for no reason. But it's not my hobby, so if I really like golf, maybe I would have a different tune. So,
well, if we all just one day decided that golf was no longer a thing, planted a bunch of trees on a bunch of different places, and then all stopped talking about it, it would go away within like a decade.
and then all stopped talking about it?
Yep.
We collectively as a people were like, fucking that.
Yeah, fuck golf.
Done.
I know mom and dad played golf, but I'm going to just put it out in the world. Fuck golf.
Fuck golf. I'm sorry.
It's a boring sport.
It's so boring.
And it uses so many resources. And so much land. It is so... Brackett's Crossing could have so many houses on it.
Also, wouldn't mini golf be so much funner as a sport?
Mini golf is the superior form of golf.
It's using less resources.
It took the art form. It took golf and improved it. And that's why I think that I think that they were going to name mini golf something else, something more impressive, like super amazing, better golf. But big golf, like Big Pharma, big golf was like, no.
No.
We can't have this.
Shitty children's golf.
Yeah,
more
shitty children's baby Giardia pants golf.
But it has
and they're like, how about just mini golf?
Better.
And they're like,
oh
fine.
My God. Dumb.
Windmills. It has windmills.
Yeah, mini golf. And dragons sometimes.
Mini golf is superior in every way.
Mini golf is better, and we should just only do that.
Yep.
Anyway, Mike Edwards, who is the founding member of the Electric Light Orchestra. Everyone, do you know the Electric Light Orchestra?
I think I do, but why don't you tell me, just in case I don't?
I love the Electric Light Orchestra. They do Sweet Talkin' Woman, which is my jam. They also do Evil Woman, which
I would say
also
evil. I would
really
say wait,
good.
evil. I would say like Evil Woman.
They also do that one, and they do Mr. Blue Sky, which is also a bop and a banger.
You played all of those songs on New Year's.
Yes, I did, because they're all so good.
They are good. They're good.
This poor guy.
But he died.
Yeah, he's the founding member, and he's driving his van down a road, and a car, I guess a big, like, I don't know, truck or something, it's got a bunch of hay on it, and it's like on the hill above him, and one of the bales of hay gets dislodged from the truck, rolls down the hill, and collides with his van and crushes him. Like, what? Just the circumstances alone are insane. And then I'm going to end with one that I laughed at and I shouldn't have, because it's not funny, because a guy
Really
died.
quick, can I add one that I have heard of that is like, I don't know if it's available on YouTube, but it is a video that is like,
oh
you can
no,
watch it. It's very sad. But like basically what happens,
I don't want to do that.
Well, basically what happens is like they're like this couple is driving on the road, the husband's driving and then his wife's in the car, and I think it's like in Germany or like it's a European country, and like a car that's like a truck that's hauling bricks like passes them and it hits a bump and a brick gets dislodged and careens into their car, smashing through the windshield and killing his wife instantly.
Oh my
and
God.
Like, the video, I think, as far as I'm aware, is like available online.
Jesus Christ!
And like, not like it's just like hear it like, I don't like it.
I don't want to. I don't. No one watched that.
Or if it's like, or it might not be available. It might have been taken down, but it was online at one point because they were filming scenery. You know, they were filming scenery, like, and then this brick just comes in and kills his wife, and they were like, not to add like
Stop.
sad, but they were like, I think they were fairly newlyweds too.
Stop! I hate that. I don't like that. It makes me sad. Every
time I see like a truck hauling something, I'm like, this is it. Like, I'm like, I'm not kidding. I see a car. I see like one of those trucks that has like all the cars on it, and I'm like, that thing's falling on me.
That car's coming off.
Unless I speed ahead of this, going a dangerous mile per hour, which will actually expedite the process of me maybe dying. Like, that thing is going to kill me.
I think about that whenever I drive by really big trucks because their wheels. I know a case of a similar thing where a couple is driving by a truck and the wheel explodes. Like, it gets a flat.
And those are like, big wheels.
If you have a blowout on a truck that's that big, it's dangerous. Like, it's not just like, I had a blowout. Like, the wheel blew up and it like destroyed half of the car. So the passenger died immediately. So I think about that whenever I drive by a truck and I'm in the passenger seat and I'm like, I guess I'll just accept my fate.
I never heard of that before, but guess what? New primal fear chakra unlocked.
New nightmare.
Yeah, new nightmare unlocked. Thanks. As if I didn't like semis enough.
But my last one is James Jimmy Heselden. Jimmy is an English entrepreneur who got rich by making Hesco Bastion barrier systems.
By selling chocolate store to door.
He founded Hesco Bastion Ltd., which made like containers filled with sand, I guess. That's like it's good for blast walls that like armies use. I don't know, but he made a fortune. Yeah, I mean, whatever you need. So he makes a bunch of money, and then in 2009, he buys Segway Incorporated. And in 2010, he is walking his dog on his Segway like a baller.
They see me rolling,
he
literally.
reverses on his Segway to let someone pass on the walk he's taking, and he falls off a cliff and dies.
Oh
It's not funny. It's not funny. It's not funny.
But because I'm picturing him going like a suburb.
Yeah,
like I'm picturing like
I'm
a suburb,
like a trail ride.
The humor, like not the humor, but like the reason I'm laughing is because the way you're describing it to me, I'm picturing just like a regular suburb. He's like he's at a four-way stop and like backs up a little bit, but out of nowhere, a fucking cliff.
A cliff. I don't know the logistics of where he is. Either he reversed way too close to a cliff, or he like hilariously reversed off of a cliff that was very far away. I don't know. All I know is I think it is ironic that he bought Segway Incorporated only to die on a Segway.
Well, thank God Maddie didn't like end up careening off one of the balconies or something.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Maddie, whose last name I don't want to say because of privacy reasons.
Yes. We had a friend who had a Segway.
But had to have it for medical reasons.
Yes. The coroner concluded that he died from blunt force trauma to the chest and spine from his fall.
Yeah, well, that's what happens.
That is what happens when you fall off a cliff.
Was he not? It's not Orange County. What is it? It's Sunset. Is it Sunset where it's like in California where it's like literally built on a fucking hill? And I'm so sorry. That's why they're probably all worried with the rain. Is because all it's going to take is one mudslide and we lose all the richest people in the world.
They're all gone.
Who are on that hill? It takes one mudslide and they're all gone.
I thought he was in England because he's.
English. Oh, they got cliffs there. They got cliffs there.
They got cliffs there. I know that.
Yeah, they got some cliffs over there.
But why would you reverse?
The dog's okay, right?
No one mentioned the dog. In my mind palace, the dog is fine.
In my mind palace, as he fell, he was like, "Fly, you fools," and let go of the leash, and the dog is okay.
And the dog got wings, and it flew away.
It got wings because it also died.
Because
it ran into traffic.
But yeah, so that's my really morbid little bit is all those deaths, but they're very interesting. People are dark. Let's just say it. People are horrible and like to read about death. So
it's a morbid fascination that we as humanity, I think, share. No matter the people who are like, "No, I don't." I'm like, "You're a fucking liar."
This has been around since the dawn of time.
Gladiators
fought in coliseums, and people cheered, and they lost their fucking minds. People died in murders, and people would go visit the house and try to steal pieces of the house to keep as a souvenir. Like, it's just a thing
time
that people
immemorial.
Do. Yeah,
like it's the one thing besides being born. Like, dying is just as natural as being born. It's something we all do. It's something we all share. It's the inevitable future that all of us will share, no matter how rich or poor you are. It doesn't matter if you're shitting in a hole in the woods or if you're pissing on a golden toilet. We are all going to die. And you know what? Just have fun.
Just have fun.
Just as long as you're not hurting anybody. Get a Segway. Yeah.
Just troll around town. Do not go by any cliffs.
You want to be successful? Get a suit. Wear a suit.
Wear a suit. Drive a Segway. That's our advice.
Walk your dog, but don't back up. Don't you fucking back up.
Don't you fucking back up.
Unless you're like in Iowa where it's all flat and corn.
Oh yeah, that's fine. You just like go into a bunch of corn and you'd be like, I'm lost.
But don't fall onto a corn stalk like that guy in my high school did, and then he has a glass eye now.
I know that kid.
Yeah, I can't remember his name, but I remember him in high school.
He had a glass eye.
Yeah, and he popped it out. It was cool.
That is fun. I would love to look at that. But people are gremlins. Anyway, you got a fun story? You got nothing? You got something?
I feel like, honestly, in this particular one, we've given quite a few
We've given
little
enough.
lovely little nuggets of sibling stories. So it's if you want a sibling story, just reverse and listen to the whole episode again.
Or you can send us your own, because we would love to hear your sibling stories and we would love to share them with the world.
Like we did with Christine, our lovely viewer submission, who we listened to 2 of her wonderful stories last week.
Yes.
The last, I shouldn't say last week because it has not been a week. So the last 2 episodes, we have featured our lovely viewer submission. And if you would like to be viewer submitted, you can submit your viewership on, where is it, McCall?
Okay, wait, no. So we have social media everywhere. Honestly,
everywhere.
It's just all over the goddamn place.
It's all over the place.
We have a Tumblr that is living vicariously. I think it's at tumblr.com. And then our email, if you would like to email us, we have livingscarypodcast@gmail.com. You can email your sibling stories there. We also still have livingvicariously@gmail.com. I still look at that. So you can see us on both. And you can check out us on YouTube. We are there as well.
Check out us.
Check out us. And we are at Living Scary Podcast on Twitter. And we're on Instagram as Living Scary Podcast. Sorry.
Well, okay, to be fair, it's been like 3 years of us saying Living Vicariously.
That is true. Also, I went on our WordPress because that's our actual site. And I was like looking at it like, oh, what's our WordPress look like? Is it a pile of shit? It is a pile of shit because I didn't do anything with it. I updated all of the fucking links on it. So now all of the links actually work.
Yay!
So when you click on the Twitter icon, it brings you to our Twitter. The only weird thing is if you click on the Instagram icon, it brings you to Instagram, but French though. And I don't know how to fix that. So I guess learn French. But yeah. So
wait, what are you talking about with the
yeah,
French?
Okay. Are you on our WordPress right now?
I'm looking because I just wanted to see it.
So if you go on our main page and like you see all those little icons, if you click on the little thing, it brings it up for me, but it's in French. Is it in French for you?
Which thing?
Yeah, Instagram. Everything's in French.
Wow, yeah, it is all in French. Why the fuck is it in French?
I know, I couldn't figure it out.
Why is it in French? My Google literally was like, "Do you want to translate this?"
No.
No. Why is it in French?
Everything else is in English, I swear. But yeah, so that's all of our social stuff. So you should please follow us, check us out, give us a like and a comment and subscribe and all that jazz. You got an ending?
Well, I just had a doozy of a day.
Boo.
Boo.